you were at an arrest this morning. I know that details are limited. The is ongoing. This is coming a while after the initial incident. Obviously, we know this is an in-depth investigation with so many people present. Can you talk to me about that initial arrest this morning?
Yeah, I mean, the Round Rock Police Department requested assistance from the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force on Friday afternoon when they were able to get these felony warrants in hand for that June 15th shooting there at Old Settlers Park, going back to a year ago in 2024. We were able to get those warrants, and our task force officers were able to develop intelligence on top of the intelligence that was provided to us from Round Rock Police Department. Because, of course, those detectives there with the Round Rock Police Department did an in-depth investigation that's been going on for a year. Monday morning, we were able to establish places of residence for these four individuals, three adults, one juvenile. And so this morning, we started out early this morning, probably around 7 o'clock, because we knew on an operation like this, when you have four warrants and they're all in some type of conspiracy. Again, this is engaging in criminalized activity with a conspiracy to commit aggravated assault. So when you get one, you probably got to try to put eyes on the next three in line because the word is going to get out very quickly. Just like in this incident here, according to the affidavit, the Round Rock Police Department is doing an investigation. It's been going over a year long, and we were able to, tie it to social media and get comments based upon their social media platforms. So as you can see, information gets passed along very quick, and that's why we're able to be very efficient in this operation, just because the manpower, close proximity to the addresses being two in Pflugerville, two in Manor, and we're able to safely get them into custody by 4 o'clock this afternoon.
It's obviously alarming that we see juveniles involved in these arrests, and these are adults, but these are very young adults. So you're going to their parents' place of residence, likely their guardian. Is it alarming for the U.S. Marshals that these are young children or young adults involved in this type of crime?
Yeah, I think it's alarming anytime you get a felony warrant for someone that's committed these types of offenses. Again, you're looking at engaging in organized criminal activity stemming from an incident where 14 individuals were shot, two were pronounced deceased. So you've taken the life of two, almost took the life of 14 others that were severely injured and, had to get treatment from a medical facility. That's alarming. But yeah, if you're looking at the age of them, I mean, this is an investigation that's just like going after an adult. I feel like you got to be a little more cautious with the younger they are just because of their mindset. The brain is not fully established yet. They make sudden and quick movements. And usually a lot of times, the younger they are, more of a propensity to flee on foot or to run and be afraid. But here, luckily, we're able to conduct surveillance, watch those movements, and then able to surround them inside of a structure and call for their arrest for them to surrender out the front side of their door. We're able to put them, in handcuffs and get them transported to the Round Rock Police Department so they can continue their investigation that they've been working on since 2024.
On that note, can you kind of talk to me about the correspondence you've had with the Round Rock Police Department? Is it usual for them to request help from the U.S. Marshals, or is it with this specific instance that it could turn violent very quickly that they ask for assistance?
Now, we're very fortunate. This task force is about to celebrate our 20th anniversary here in the Austin Division, and we're very fortunate to have a member like the Round Rock Police Department that is full-time on our task force. So we get cases from the Round Rock Police Department on a daily or weekly basis. This just happens to be more of a highlighted case because this was at a festival there in Old Settlers Park, where, like I said, 14 were injured and two were pronounced deceased. So this isn't something that is out in the ordinary. This is something we do every day, building relationships with our local, state, and federal agencies. Round Rock is always an assistance to us, whether they're bringing us cases or we have a lot of cases that lead them here to Round Rock. And, we build that communication with the police department because there may be resources we need, or, we check out with their dispatch to let them know that we're here just for officer safety in case, we need some type of medical assistance or additional resources that they can provide us.
Brandon, for communities in Round Rock, Pflugerville, and Manor, this has been a long time coming, bringing people to justice for this, regardless of their age. But some are questioning why it's taken so long to get all the arrests made. Can you kind of talk to the importance of having a thorough and in-depth investigation and the timeline for this?
Yeah, I think it would be outside of the scope of my duties if I spoke about somebody else's agency doing investigative work. I think our job here with the Marshal Service is we follow those detectives when they need assistance. They're doing an in-depth investigation. They've got a lot of filtering to go through. You're looking at a big event with a lot of people, limited to probably just interviews. You're going through, electronic surveillance. But our job at the end of that is to really give them some relief as to once their investigation is able to get enough probable cause to put an affidavit, it's our job with the task force to execute that warrant and return it, and to return it with someone in custody. That's primarily our job with the U.S. Marshal Service and the sponsored fugitive task force.
And so today, those arrests were able to be made. You were at the one around 7 in the morning. How does the U.S. Marshals prepare to make arrests like this with someone who is so young? I every time I think of an arrest by the U.S. Marshals, I think of a criminal who's particularly violent and not in still somewhat of a younger age.
Well, I think as time has progressed, we've seen violence here in the Austin area. I think where we just announced where we arrested 7 individuals in a 10-day time span. And some of those were 2 or 3 juveniles that have also committed homicides. So the age has gotten younger, but I also think that it's our relationships that the U.S. Marshals has with these other agencies that have come on with the task force to where when they get something like this, they're able to kind of lean on the Marshal Service a little bit more just to get that resource. Because again, these individuals were not in the city of Round Rock. We had 2 arrests in Pflugerville, 2 arrests in Manor. So we're able to stretch those resources out, which we do on a daily basis amongst, our personnel. That comes in abundance. I mean, you're looking at approximately 20 to 30 task force members that are able to combine efforts together to get these individuals into custody and hopefully safely. But that's really what we focus on. And we're just a helping hand to those local and state agencies when it comes to fugitive work.
Brandon, one of my last questions for you is I know, again, you were only at one of the arrests. We know that 4 came out today, but would you describe these gentlemen or these young men as being particularly violent individuals?
So I look at the underlying charge where you're engaging in organized criminal activity, where they're being charged with conspiracy to commit aggravated assault. This is stemming from an incident that took place at a local festival. And you have 2 different types of gangs that have partaken or participated in this violence. To us, that's violent enough. It's just one occasion. Again, this was a deadly incident where it took the life of 2 others and injured 14 others. You asked for a big response, exhausted resources from emergency medical services, fire department, police departments. So that is dangerous in nature. Yes, because of their age, they probably don't have that much of an extensive criminal history because one is about to probably become an adult. The other are early adults, right there at the age of 19. So really, you just look at the underlying charge, and that's really all that we really needed to know and to focus on in this investigation.
Brandon, my last question for you is, would it surprise you if you made additional arrests in this case?
We don't know what's forthcoming. We don't know what's coming down the line from Round Rock Police Department. It's those investigators there at Round Rock that really do their work and do their due diligence to get that probable cause, to put it in affidavit, to get a felony warrant. And we'll just wait for the next felony warrant because that's kind of what we do here with the mission with the Marshal Service. Like I said, is execute that warrant. And we've been doing that since 1789. And that's just continuing to build our relationships to be able to provide assistance to state, local, and federal agencies when somebody is wanted for a violent criminal offense and has fled from authorities.
Anything else that you want to add to this that maybe I haven't yet asked you, but you think is important to note?
I think it's just important to note, 20 years with the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force right here in the Austin Division, where we cover 17 counties. And I really think it's just a hybrid model of relationships to where these local agencies have either somewhat been involved with the task force, whether it's on a one-time incident, whether it's part-time or whether it's full-time, have really made it a success. And Round Rock initially started off part-time members. Now they're full-time. And we continue to get cases like this to where we can bring back justice for those victims, in and around our local communities.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.